Lesson 4. Comparing and ordering objects. Goals for this lesson. I can state which is longer, I can state which object weighs more, and I can state which object's capacity is bigger. Today we will be discussing the differences between objects. Let's discuss these objects. So here we have a feather. And here we have a car. So I want to ask the question, which weighs more? So, have you ever picked up a feather before? If so, can you pick it up? Is it something that we can lift easily? Compared to a car. Cars weigh a lot more, right? Because we've maybe touched feathers or seen feathers on animals, and if they weighed as much as a car, those ducts would have to be very strong. So, the feather weighs less than the car. Now, let's compare which one is longer. This spool of rope, where the rope extends out, or this coin. Which one do you think is longer in length? So length would just be the measure along the object. Would it be this, or would it be this? The rope would be longer. Now let's ask ourselves which one will hold more water. So have you ever filled up a bucket? Or seen a bucket filled? Does it have as much water as your bathtub? Your bathtub most likely could fit you in it. And can you fit inside of a bucket? I don't think so. So, which one do you think holds more water? Which capacity is bigger? That's right, it's going to be the bathtub. Now, let's order these objects. So first we have a mug. This mug is like your standard coffee cup. We could fill it up with some coffee, and then that would be the capacity. Would you rather have a mug full of your favorite drink or a bucket full? If you really love this drink, you would probably want more of it, right? So if you chose a bucket, that means the mug has less capacity, less able to be stored in it than the bucket. So it has the least capacity. So our mug would be at the bottom or the lowest capacity end of our list. Because we want to figure out which ones we don't want to drink our favorite drink out of. Next, do you think you would rather have a bucket full of your favorite drink or a bathtub? Remember what we said about bathtubs, they can fit you inside of them. A bucket, not so much. So, to figure out which one's biggest, we ask ourselves, which one would we rather have full of our favorite drink or thing? Maybe candy, a bathtub full of candy. Whichever one can hold more is going to be at the top of our list because we want more of that thing, right? So we want to pick the thing that's the biggest, which is the top. So that means the bucket goes in the middle. Now, let's order these objects by weight. So a feather. Can you even feel when you have a feather in your hand? Is it really like you're holding a feather, but also like if you just put it out on your hand, you could probably forget about it and not even think about holding it up because it's so light. But with a controller, you feel it in your hands and it's heavy, and normally you use two hands to hold it in place, right? It would be a little tricky to hold with one hand because it's a little heavy. But neither one of these even comes close to a car. So, first, our feather weighs the least, so it's going to be on this end. And then our car is definitely the heaviest because a controller is not even close to as heavy as a car, right? You can pick up a controller, you can't pick up a car. So then our controller must go in the middle. Now, let's look at our rope example again. So we have our rope, this super long coiled up rope, and then we have our coin. Remember seeing coins in real life? They're really teeny tiny, right? This rope is much bigger, as we said, than this little coin. But where does a baguette fall into this? Do you think this is as long as our coiled up rope? Or do you think it's as long as our coin? Our coin's clearly the smallest out of here, right? You can fit that coin in the palm of your hand, which you probably couldn't do with a baguette or with a piece of rope. So our coin will be the smallest. And then we have to figure out baguette or rope. I could probably hold the baguette in my hand and it would probably stick out maybe an inch or two, right? But if we held the rope just flat in our palm, it would probably uncoil and go down to like our knees. So it may look small or shorter, all rolled up, but if we uncoiled it, it would probably be a lot longer. So then we have our bread. And lastly, our rope.